What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, and I am bringing you some craziness today. I just did the Ice Barrier structure deck, and I said you guys should get it, and maybe this will convince you a little bit. There's also another deck. I just ended up combining this Penguin Knight deck. I really wanted to take a stab at it, and it turns out that they kind of have a ton of synergy. And there's also one other thing in this deck that is just absolute complete bonkers, which I'll show you here. So this combo you're seeing right now, I think this one is a guy who I found on YouTube. This is kind of like his original combo. I will link it down below, and I'm gonna actually show you what he does in this video, and then I take it a different way to kind of fit the deck more, but we'll see. I think this guy even ends up quitting out. So what this end board does is it's an anti-Nibiru plus 2 hand rips from your opponent. Now the hand rips are random, but still, your opponent's starting with 4 cards, and you're going to end with 2 powerful cards, one much more powerful than the other, which probably won't exist very soon. So yeah, he surrendered before I even finished it. So that's like kind of the basis of the combo, and the end of it, there's 2 different ways. And I'm sure you'll see it really soon. But there's basically 9 play starters in the deck, 6 going first and 9 going second, and you'll see why. Technically, you have 9 starters. In one duel, I'll show you the new Ice Barrier card is technically a 1-card play starter, but it's usually better to summon like the Trishula monsters with it and stuff instead of having to use it for your turn 1 plays. So I get Ashed and Nibiru'd. My token's small, so he's going to be able to get over it. He's playing like Destiny board, so silly, right? But I am playing evenly matched. I'm maining it. I'm thinking about siding it. I'm not sure how to feel exactly. Actually, misplay here. I actually have plays. This doesn't look like you have much going on, but this is a level 5 or higher, and this one lets you special summon from the hand. This is only like these 2 are based like actually only one of, so. They just both happen to be in my hand. I guess you never know. And here, here's the new structure deck. So all these cards are from the new structure deck, which is kind of nice. And the cool thing is Atlantean Dragoons kind of counts as a pseudo Cyber Dragon Hurts in that it replaces itself when you discard for an effect, which is nice. And then I went into the original Trishula and kind of got rid of his win condition. Let's see what I have here. I'm playing Dark Magicians. You always play Dark Magicians, right? It's so funny tonight. It seems like no matter who I play, they always open Ash. It doesn't matter. Like every single game too, which is funny. So this is kind of the most expensive version of the deck. I purchased these cards, so I'm going to be doing an in-person deck profile, but I'll make that for the budget side. And then I'll also I'll release both videos the same day. A deck profile like in person, and then for budget, and then online I'll show you kind of the more expensive options that you can go through. Crystal Needle Fiber by itself is actually kind of nice because Desert Lotus, force them to discard a card. Again, it's their choice, but still, like he can't use Red Eyes Fusion anymore. So I'm feeling decent enough about my position. This is one of my play starters here, although I've kind of already used Crystal Needle Fiber. It's not exactly perfect. But yeah, so 500 IQ plays. This card is in the structure deck, but the way they have it now, you can never use it. But you have to have exactly 5 water monsters in your graveyard, and there are certain ways to make that happen. But yeah, if you can believe Deep Sea Diva, Atlantean Prince, and the Elemental Lord, they equal the new Trishula monster, which is awesome. A little bit of versatility there. Yeah, I believe this is the one from the guy's YouTube that I found. You'll see. And I'll probably end up doing a step-by-step tutorial too, so I'm not going to explain this too much now. Maybe I'll try to release both tomorrow. I'm not sure, depending on what time. I'm recording this super late at night. Despot 001. That again then goes to like Old Entity Cthulhu. So when you go full combo, you +2, your opponent negs 2, like hard negs 2, and you like I said before, you play around like important hand traps, although like Ash is just an absolute killer for the deck. I play Called by the Grave, and I also play Instant Fusion for Millennium Eyes Restrict. So yeah, so as is currently legal for probably the next 7 days, the True King of All Calamities is one option that you can go into, which is obviously pretty good. I had to go right into my battle phase. I probably should have summoned this in attack position, but whatever. Again, he's not going to be able to really do anything during his turn. Yeah, these cards don't really do anything. And the Harpy's Feather Duster comes down, and then I obviously would have been able to go into the new Trishula or Old Trishula because I had Miko in my hand and the Master Mirror of the Ice Barrier. I'm playing, looks like a Red Ice deck, but he plays some Dragon Ruler cards. This is a complete brick in the hand, but look, you have 2 other play starters, so it's not like a lose condition, but it sure does stink to see it. And Medallion's not once per turn, and yeah, there's no restrictions on it at all, which is really cool. But it needs to be that way, right? The deck has to have stupid spell cards like that most like would never be able to. The original Trishula wasn't able to attack, obviously, but that's okay. And he didn't have anything, which is very nice. I don't know how many water monsters I had in my graveyard. I actually might have been able to get rid of the other 2 cards in his hand this turn. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Which is really cool. I'm playing generators this time. Yeah, this deck can go second. I think I'm playing like 9 hand traps. I'm just kind of mixing around which ones I want in and what, the side deck. Like, stuff is pretty when you have like a lot of space, which this deck does, it kind of becomes hard to choose. It almost feels like you have too many choices. I don't know if this is yeah, so he can't use the effect to negate anything, so the rest of my turn is going to go pretty much impeded. Get rid of this Red Eyes Black Dragon because I want him to discard this card. So you can kind of force it, although I guess I really didn't have to do that. But you you have to activate the effect because you have to put it in the graveyard, so it is kind of a double-edged sword if they only have 2 cards in your hand. You would love to get rid of both of them, but you kind of have to do it this way. Yeah, you can actually go into the original or the new Trishula, which is cool. Non-targeting banishment, really awesome. So the combo can change ever so slightly to accommodate going first or going second. Here is Madolche's. Yeah, and this is the other kind of 1-card play starters that Gen X Undyne. It equals a Penguin Soldier plus Crystron Needle Fiber. Yeah, and Red Reboot does absolutely nothing, right? And here's the new Penguin Brave. It's kind of unfortunate. This is only a common card, but it's nice that it's cheap. It would be cool to see this one day, maybe get a better a better rarity. So he's going to have to discard a card automatically. Figured might as well get this out of here, as quickly as possible. Go ahead and flip 2 of his cards back. And I can also Synchro Summon. I do have a option on here. It is Borreload Savage Dragon. 1 negate's pretty weak, but it was enough to get rid of him. Just the bounce effect was the important part at the end of the day. And this was a misclick, which was really nice. The worst part about playing on the EDO Pro, obviously. Who's really normal summon reliant there. So now I can flip this up and use the effect. Very nice, and he ended up surrendering. Here's a couple of duels against Monarchs. Yeah, Lancia is slowly but surely becoming one of my favorite tech cards of the format. I know I just did a video. I'm almost curious to do another one soon. I don't know. Very affordable card. I want to get Droll Lockburn. I know that's a really good card right now. It's crazy how many printings that card has. Like, truly so many. And it's still like $5 a copy. It's incredible, the impact that card has on the market right now. I think there was a time where it wasn't so expensive. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe it's always been that expensive. If the format ever gets away from it and it gets to like $3 a copy, you gotta stock load on those things. Yeah, so 2 cards of his are going bye-bye, and here it is. Here's the full combo, like my side of it. Not true King of all calamities, but Penguin Brave. It's a little awkward to like have all these monsters on the field, sure, but you can turn them into like an Appaloosa the next turn. Like one of these restricts you into water monsters, so you couldn't do it at the end there. At the end of the day, you realize you didn't have anything, which is cool. And I had an answer, like even if you had like a Monarch card, Speller Trap, I mean to say. So it's nice to know that if True King Calamities, like which me and everybody else seems to think gets banished, there is an alternative combo, and you kind of like can keep it and keep the 2 hand loop going, which is great for your opponent to like start at such a disadvantage. Especially if you do end up like tagging out their Nibiru, then it's a really dead card in your hand. Like they have that dead card. Yeah, 2 medallions. Awesome. I may end up going into the original Trishula. You can do both of them, I'm pretty sure. Because I can send, with the Frost Beard, I can manipulate the tune level. Like this deck obviously isn't meta. I mean, you see like my hand is like completely depleted, so it's not perfect, but it's actually nice because there are so many 1-card play starters, right? This was a really good top deck right here because I'm going to be able to add that last Medallion of the Ice Barrier. I only run like 2 targets for the deck for tuners. They're so bad. There's so many bad cards. But I like the idea of picking up the structure deck now in case there are ever good cards, because that could make a huge difference in my opinion. These are very generic. Like this, the Hexa Spirit sends any tuner or like any I think it has to be. I think it's just a level Ice Barrier. So if there's ever like good Ice Barrier, effects in the graveyard, you could always do that. This is also another pseudo boss monster of the deck, Geomath Mech Final Sigma. So lots of different ways you can take it. And no 2 duels will most likely ever be the same. Except going first, you have a pretty clear objective for that. And here might be an example of me. Yeah, so like I said, you don't always have the play starters that you want. And sometimes you have to deal with it because if you open Dragoons, unfortunately, it kind of makes your Deep Sea Diva dead. Those plays, like going here and going into Crystal Needle Fiber is a different thing. But if you want like going full combo wise, yeah, it's kind of jacked up. Yeah, I went into the Appaloosa at just the right time, right? Because he had trying to Nibiru me there. Luckily for me, this guy is bricking out of his mind. But I did want to show you, what you can do with just this card. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. And I was going to go into the original Trishula and start banishing some of his cards and whatever is face down. And that would have been close to lethal. Actually, yeah, it would have been lethal for sure. Here's a good duel against Salamangreats. I go for the Gen X Undyne combo here. Yeah, send that Krishan Rosenix and get a token. Change that into Link Spider. Special summon the Gen X controller, Krishan, and then here, yeah, Penguin Knight. Finally go for Penguin Soldier. 2 monsters bounce in the hand. He top decks a Dark Rule and a more. Ugh, come on. That stinks. I probably should have kept it on the field. Depends. I don't know. Probably was a bad decision. I was actually curious, just in general, like if does Dark Rule no more negate only on the field or not? If it banished itself, I'd be able to use the effect, and obviously no. Yeah, and I can keep using the effect of Penguin Soldier. Salamangreat Balinx is such a good card, it's insane. But I'm going to actually be able to do the same loop over, like, again. So I'm going to flip this up, balance both of our cards in the hand, and then use the other Lightning Storm. That way I can get rid of his spells and traps, and Sanctuary is such an important card for that deck. Top decks of Nibiru, so nothing there. We're in a little bit of a of a struggle. I add it because like I gotta get a play starter to my hand. Again, that's a little awkward. It's nice to have a 2100 attack monster when you're having a top deck war, which I guess is kind of the nice thing about this. The Harpy's Feather Duster is going to come down, And now I can, do my plays unimpeded. Although there is a Nibiru there, I gotta be careful. We'll see if I mess this up. No, I just end up going into Trishula. So get rid of that Nibiru, and I can go into the battle phase. He has got to pull up something pretty good here off the top, and it's a Parallel Exceed. So the answer to that question is no. And this is the last duel. I may end up going into True King of all Calamities here. I'm not sure. Oh no, this is if something goes wrong. So yeah, this is a Garnet, like hardcore in your deck. You draw into that, you're not doing so hot. But you can. Really, I probably should have gone into Penguin Soldier. That's actually kind of my fault. Although at the end of this, I do draw two. It kind of comes down to personal preference, I suppose. So. Or no, I didn't even go through the draw too. So yeah, I don't think I even realized that I had this in my hand when I started my plays. But you can go through that whole process and get to, one negate it. That's probably not good enough, but I do have the Joan Lockburn in my hand, so it kind of pulls its weight in helping me survive this turn. Yeah, he like there's the whole like deep sea archetype obviously is very big on adding cards to the hand. So he's not able to do that. It's kind of hurting him here. Yeah, that True King is not as big as this Borreload Savage Dragon. I do have one more negate. I'm obviously just going to wait for him to use True King's effect and negate that, which is exactly what I do. And he surrenders, but what I could have probably done is destroy maybe his True King of all Calamities, maybe his Formula Synchron, whatever the case may be, and then open up that zone for Final Mathemax Sigma, because I did have the numbers there for it, which is nice. So yeah, that was a pretty darn good look at trying to decide what I'm going to call this, like Penguin, Ice Barrier, Sea deck. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and then that's going to do it for today's video, and hope you have an absolutely wonderful night.